Hi and welcome to Thriver TV, the place to break free from narcissistic abuse with quantum tools and understandings. A lot of you from last week wrote in and said, I really like your t-shirt and I love it too, so I wanted to wear it again. And this was a gift to me from one of my beautiful soul sisters, Simone Waddell. And get ready for Simone has just released an amazing song which was completely created for the Thriver community, and hopefully it's going to be a blockbuster worldwide. So I'm going to be talking to Simone and I'm going to be doing an interview with her about that soon. So for those of you who know and love Simone, this is going to be so exciting for Thriver TV, and we'll possibly both wear our matching t-shirts. Choose empathy. Such a strong Thriver message. But anyway, for today's Thriver TV show, please know if you feel like this, you are not alone. Because when we are broken and devastated and crawling through our life second to second as a result of narcissistic abuse, and when we're looking at the rubble of what used to be our life smashed to pieces on the ground, it may seem hopeless and helpless. And I promise you, once upon a time, I felt like I was never going to heal. And I can't tell you how many people have told me the same things over the years. And many of these people I now know as incredible, glowing thrivers, just as I am myself. So what is the difference between people who do heal and people who don't? I promise you it has nothing to do with the level of damage, because I have seen people recover from narcissistic abuse mentally, emotionally, physically, financially and spiritually, who were so devastated in midlife and beyond that they ended up in homeless shelters, suicide attempts in hospitals, just unthinkable things, losing everything that they'd spent their whole entire life building and creating, and so on and so forth. The people who recovered, who have rebuilt their lives, in some cases totally, they've come into a better prosperity and success than they ever enjoyed previously. And even more cases, there are people that have healed to authentic, joyful heights where their security and their survival is fine, yet now the main focus, which is inspiration, authenticity and joy, become the true goals, which is actually the best thing about recovery from narcissistic abuse, totally. Material prosperity, absolutely it's a bonus, but it is definitely not the end game anymore. Soul wealth is the end game, because the egoic false self that we can all get trapped into and feeding and living through is no longer in charge of our lives once we go through a Thriver transformation. So how did these people recover and come back from a totally devastated life? And how did people recover who had illnesses and conditions that were deemed chronic, incurable, and even terminal? How did they heal, resurrect their health, and make their way back from the brink to be released into their true lives? And why is it that some people who have not been trashed as hard, or who had the most terrible, significant life and death brushes with their trauma, not seem ever to be able to recover to the level of feeling freedom, joy, peace and love for self, life and others, which is actually what true recovery is all about? Why can't they access this? The answer may surprise you. I promise you it has nothing to do with the circumstances of what happened to them. It actually has everything to do with the beliefs they are carrying inside their inner being regarding what happened to them. Awful circumstances, and even how terrible a narcissist is in our life, does not have the power to take away our ability to heal. What does have the power to take away our ability to heal is only our level of belief. Because at the quantum level, we are creating our life, sometimes powerfully and consciously, yet often by default in ways that aren't serving us. And it's all unfolding unconsciously, which is not our fault because we were never taught this stuff. And it doesn't mean we are to blame. It just means we haven't woken up yet to the truth of our power to heal as yet. And the deeper you understand quantum mechanics, you realize how powerfully we really are creating in regard to our beliefs and what we're co-creating in accordance with those beliefs. And it is really common for us thrivers to experience people in the Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Program community, the NARP community, who are starting their healing journey, who admit they feel like it's too late, they're too old, they've lost too much, or they're too broken to heal. In fact, most people, by the time they get to significant enough narcissistic abuse in their life to bring them to their knees, to the necessary personal catharsis of deeply healing themselves from the inside out, experience exactly those feelings because they are often in middle age and they've generally enmeshed and been taken down by a narcissist and lost everything or lost a lot. And they're severely broken down within their inner being. I would go as far as to say that this is 95% of this community, the people who come to this community. And generally, we all turn within to dedicate totally to ourselves when there is nothing else left to turn to. Yet in the Thriver model, despite how broken and devastated our inner beings and lives are, we can come back, we can heal, we can reignite, and we have the ability to step onto brand new trajectories of love, joy, vibrant health, and expressing our personal missions and our soul contributions to the world. Many thrivers have connected to that. And often this happens within a few short months or years of dedicating to ourselves to shift trauma out of the cells of our body so that our entire inner being and life starts opening up to and organically becoming healing and well-being. So how do these people do it? How have I done it? This is the answer. It's about learning and applying this truth, that the reason we don't heal is only ever generated at the level of belief. So what these people and myself did is they addressed those faulty, painful beliefs. And let me share with you what happens when we address our trauma at the level of belief. We realize that everything that is not feelings of wholeness and wellness is not who we really are. And rather, it's a false belief and trauma which is keeping us separated from our organic self, which is well-being. Which means it is only a false belief that can be released and then will no longer have any influence over us. The fact of the matter is, the organic well-being of life force itself is working for you. It is bringing to the surface the evidence of every limiting belief and trauma which is stopping you from being the next version of your highest self. The trauma rising to the surface that we feel as painful emotion means this. Here is what needs to be unpacked so that I can go forth. There's more space in my cells now being released from toxic trauma, meaning life force and well-being has the space to flow through me. And until we do this, we give our trauma too much power. We believe it is us. It isn't us. It's simply a glitch in the circuitry. It's a broken part of ourselves that has not as yet been loved and released back to wholeness. But if we take it on as us, if we believe it is true, then it's got us by the throat. If you have been suffering from narcissistic abuse and you believe that there is no way you can heal, or that you're too tired, you're too old, you're too damaged, or whatever limitation there is to your healing, I want to help you out with this mantra. So please repeat after me. It is my organic DNA coded state to emulate creation and life force itself as health, freedom, and wellness. I am only limited by false beliefs that have permeated my being that I can now release. When I find the origins of these limiting beliefs and release them, I unlock and release myself into space within, which allows my cellular DNA coded knowing that I am wellness, freedom, and the joy of life and living. So feel that in your cells. It is quantum truth. Now here is the deal. It's about following up on this. It's about working on ourselves each and every time we start feeling a belief, a reoccurring thought that is sabotaging our true selves and our true destiny. It's about unlocking our true selves from underneath the rubble of false beliefs and traumas. It's about not trying to live with them or even battle them, because generally they win. It's about releasing them and replacing them with our higher consciousness, the organic wellness of source that is available to each and every one of us as our divine right to heal, when we know how to heal ourselves at this level, so that we can put an end to our trauma, our blocks, and our inability to get well. So to heal for real, we need to stop indulging in the thoughts about our trauma, which are always only going to operate at the level of the trauma consciousness of the false beliefs in our subconscious. And we can realize that by going deeper, we reach the false belief in our body, in our cellular DNA, and release that program directly from in there. And then there is simply no corresponding thought, because the brain follows the body. It's not the other way around. In the work that I help people do with quantum freedom healing, I say to them, keep it literal. People say, I'm battling this or I'm battling that, including thoughts that I will never heal. And I simply say to them, track that painful thought as that emotional charge in your body. Track it through back to your subconscious. Go direct and find it, the faulty program, and all of the pain and trauma on it, the dense energy, and release it. And then you will be free from it. And that is how people healed from the belief that they will never heal. Because when they did that, then it simply didn't exist anymore. So just to finish up, I want to explain this key point to you. Inner trauma is any thought involved with negative emotion. If there was no inner trauma, you could think about anything and not get any emotional, somatic response in your body with it. Your thoughts about not being able to heal have emotional charges that you feel in your body connected with them, of helplessness, dread, hopelessness. They are all inner traumas, and inner traumas cannot be combated at the mind level. They need to be addressed at the root of where they exist, which is deeply within your subconscious programming. And once they're addressed at that level, then the battle is gone. They're just done. So that's it. I hope that this has helped you let go of feeling hopeless about not being able to heal, and it's given you the hope that there is a way through this. So please come over to the blog to join in the conversation about this at blog.melanietoniaevans.com, and you can also ask any further questions to clarify whatever you'd like to know. And please, you know how it goes. Keep smiling, keep healing, and keep thriving, because there's nothing else to do. Lots of love. Bye-bye.